Okay, Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Today we are going to talk about pass transistors. Pass transistors are the single transistors that can be used as switches. So we can use an NMOS or a PMOS. So the NMOS has the drain, gate, source. Similarly, the PMOS has the drain, gate and source. Okay, so as you know, if we put in at an input at the source, so let's say we put a 1 over here and the gate is set to a 0, right? Over here we can see that if we put a 0 at the gate, the transistor, the NMOS is off. So now the drain will be the drain will not get anything. It will be a Z. Okay, so it acts like a open switch. Okay, if we put in a different input, so let's say we put a 1 at the gate, right? This transistor now is on over here, and you can get output at the D. So the D will follow the input and the D will get a 1. So over here, the NMOS transistor, it can pass a strong 0. That means that it will pass a strong 0 means that if you have a 0 at the input and the gate is on, the gate is a 1, the 0 will be a strong 0 at the output. However, if you pass a 1, the 1 will be a degraded 1. This is because the NMOS is usually connected to the ground over here, and it is easier to pass a 0. This is when the circuit is pulled down, right? If you have the NMOS connected to ground, so it will be it can pass a strong 0. Whereas if you connect it to a 1, if you connect it to a VDD, for example, the NMOS doesn't have very good capability of passing the 1. The 1 will not be a perfect signal, the 1 will be a distorted signal, so it passes as a very degraded 1. Okay, so if it's a PMOS, here it will act as a reverse. The PMOS, in order to turn on the PMOS, you will put in a 0 at the gate. So if you put in a 0 at a PMOS, the 0 will not be perfect. The 0 will be degraded. But if you put in a 1 over here and the transistor is on, the 1 will be a good signal. So this is why we always connect the PMOS as the pull up for the inverter or any other circuits. So it can pass a very strong 1. Okay, and it will be off if you put in a 1 at the input. Okay, so if you put in a 1, so this will act like a open circuit. Okay, so signal strength. When you have signals, we can categorize them into its strength and how does it approximate, or how close is it to the ideal voltage source. So it can be a very strong 1 or a very good 0. So this one means that it is connected to VDD, and this means that it's connected to ground. And the VDD and ground rails are the strongest 1 and 0. So the NMOS passes a strong 0 and the PMOS passes a strong 1. Okay, so the NMOS is the best for the pull down network. So if you have the inverter circuit, right, you always connect the NMOS to the pull down and the PMOS to the pull up circuit.